Hello and welcome to my video 1.4, an extra example. So we're looking at the surface area. We're looking at a question where it's asking the surface area of the following object. Now, hopefully you remember in class we mentioning this sort of step-by-step process to get that, but we're going to go through it right now. So first of all, you need to find whatever formulas you need. So, for example, the area of a rectangle would be, the formula would be length times width. But in our case, we have circle, the area of a circle, which is pi r squared, and we have the side of a circle, which is 2 pi RH. So we don't need length times width. There's one more formula you need for this topic, which is the area of a triangle, which we don't need in this one because there's no triangles, but it is base times height divided by 2. So the only ones we need are these two today. So you can ignore the other ones. Alright. So we have formulas. We can check this one off. Step 2, surface area of every object. We're going to do the small object, small cylinder, and then the big object, big cylinder. We're going to do them step by step, each one of them. So surface area of every object. Small object has a surface area with a circle on top and a circle underneath. So we need to find circle on top, and now the small object is labeled R1 with the radius 1 for the small object, so I'm going to call it R1 squared plus pi R1 squared. So this is the top circle and the bottom circle added together, plus there's only one other side we can get for a cylinder, which is the side of it. So 2 pi R H. Oh, and we need to have R1 and H1. Now looking at the big cylinder, we have basically the exact same thing except with R2. So pi R2 squared plus pi R2 squared. So this is the top and the bottom of the big one. And then 2 pi R2 H2. This is the side of the big one, outside of the entire cylinder. That's this way around on our cylinder, all the way around it. Okay, so we have now the surface area of every object. So we can check that one off. And now we want to go to wasted area. Write this down, wasted. So what area is wasted? Well, the bottom, if you might notice here, maybe I'll use a green. The bottom circle here is wasted. And it's wasted twice, actually. So where we have it wasted on the small cylinder, on the bottom of the small cylinder, and we have the same area wasted at the top of the big cylinder. So we could either have 2 times it, or I'm going to write it out. Pi R1 squared plus pi R1 squared. Okay, so that's our wasted area. So we have our small area, our big area for the 2 different cylinders, and our wasted area. Now we can check that one off. Step 4. Add objects and subtract wasted. Okay, so we need to just basically put this in one big long sort of equation. So add objects, pi r squared, pi r1 squared plus pi r1 squared plus 2 pi r1 h1. That is this whole set here. So I just put it directly down. And now I'm going to put this set down. So plus pi r2 squared plus pi r2 squared plus 2 pi r2 h2. Okay, so that was this entire one here, going all the way around. Okay, and now it said add objects, which we did, so just a small check mark for half of that one, and subtract wasted. Okay, subtract, and we've got wasted pi r1 squared minus pi r1 squared. Okay, that's subtract wasted, small little check mark, which means we're done the whole section. Okay, so we've got a big long equation, and what's step 5? Substitute. So we need to take the numbers that we have in here, given in our equation, in our question, and we need to put them in. So we have r1 equals 2, r1 equals 2. So every time we see r1, just below it, we're going to write the 2. So 2. Okay, and then I'm going to keep going. Squared plus pi 2 squared plus 2 pi 2. Oh, now we've come to a new one, h1. What is it over here? It's another 2, so we're going to put that in. Plus pi r2. Okay, now we're looking over here, looking for our number again. So we notice that it's over here. So we need to write down 5 squared plus pi, same thing, 5 squared plus 2 pi 5, oh, h2, and what's the number? 3 minus pi, see how long this takes sometimes, 2 squared minus pi 2 squared. Okay. Now I have substituted. Okay, putting a check mark beside. Check mark, check mark, check mark. Our last one is simplify. So I need to do, what I need to do is I need to take all these numbers and multiply them out, or do the exponents, all that stuff, and then I add them together. So first, I need to multiply them out and do exponents. Okay, so make sure that you have in mind bed mass. Okay, so if you haven't looked at that yet, B stands for brackets, which we don't have any, then exponents, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. All it means, bed mass, is order of operations. It means we have to do it in this order. So you start with brackets, and then you go to subtraction. Okay? So make sure you have that in mind. So we've got exponents next, so I want to go through and do all my exponents. So 2 times 2, which is 2 squared, 2 times 2 is 4, plus pi 4, because that's the same as before. Now 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, plus 5 times 5 is 25 pi, plus 25 pi, plus 2 times 5 times 3 is 30 pi. So 5 times 3 is 15, 2 times 15 is 30, minus 2 times 2, or 2 squared, so 4 pi, minus 4 pi again. Okay, and now if we add all this together, we will see that we've got a minus 4 pi and minus 4 pi. So I'm going to highlight these. Minus 4 pi, and interestingly, we have a minus and we have them added. here, and here. So what we can do is we can cancel them out. Okay. So if you have 1 minus 1, you can imagine them being canceled out. So if we have 2 plus 1 minus 1, it's still equal to 2. Okay, that's the logic here in canceling them out. So because they're the same, this one can cancel with this one can cancel with this one. Okay. What have we been left with? 25 plus 25 plus 30 plus 8. So 25 plus 25 is 50 pi. 8 plus 30 is 38 pi. 50 plus 38 is 88 pi. And that's our answer. So you have to be very careful to really go through step by step. Okay, and I guess I can check off the fact that we simplified. Okay, so the trick is to go really step by step, going through those 6 steps one at a time. So we started with formulas right here. Then we found the surface area of every object right here. Then we found the wasted area right here. Then we added objects and subtracted wasted right here. Then we substituted in right there. And then we simplified until our answer right there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every question with surface area can be answered if you take these steps one at a time. Good luck.